I mean, they are quite tough to handle. On this spot, figure. That's how we like it. Good morning, welcome to Fishing Squad. I feel like I've been dragged out of bed backwards this morning. It's an early one, not too early. When you're on holiday, 6 o'clock starts an early one. So, back on the tope hunt. We had to knock it on head really for 2 days because of wind, high winds. And they've dropped. We did manage to get out a little bit to do some mackerel feathering. They seem to be well and truly in now, the mackerel. But we've got a small tide this morning. It's one of the smaller ones on the Liverpool tide table. I don't really pay much attention. I know it sounds daft. I do fish down to low, but I don't really pay much attention to the low figure. I just look at the eye and I get a good idea of how big the tide is. So it's a 7.1 metre tide today, which is very small, one of the smallest. So I've had tope on these tides before, but not as many. But sometimes they can just turn up. That bit of a blow will have helped things, I think, over the last couple of days. Just looking down the coast now, the sea's one hell of a lot calmer than it was, but it's still got a nice bit of white water in the edge where it's smashing against rocks still, just slightly, not a lot, but it isn't flat calm. So I always say you need a bit of I'm knackered, a bit of a bit of white stuff in the edge, a bit of foam, a bit of froth, whatever you want to call it. We'll just see how we get on. It's going to flatten right off, so go down to low tide, so it's going to be a nice still day today. I think it got up to about 30 mile an hour yesterday, the winds. So we should be able to fish nice and comfortably this morning. All my rods are fixed from the other morning. Whatever incidents happened with them. So yeah, we'll see you at the mark, see how we get on. Come on, let's have it. For some reason, I don't want to tempt fate, but I feel a little confident this morning. I don't know why. We'll see anyway. Just landed some fresh mackerel. Got some fresh bait, but I think we're going to have to move because we've got a little bit of a problem with the lobster pot. I don't know if you can see it. It's just here. Just about to make it out. The rope's coming from the right, this side. Right in my casting range, so I'm going to have to move. Right, we've moved. This marks my favourite spot to fish off on the line. But I've got problems with lobster pots. But, you know, I've got problems with lobster pots in front of me. I don't know if you can see them. I'll just spin you around. Yeah, I've got problems with lobster pots, but I put my thinking cap on. I've monitored all the ropes and none come into my casting range if I just cast straight out. So, fingers crossed. Yeah, last time I was here, I think I caught a tope, I feel like, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I caught a tope, I feel, the last time I fished off here. It's in the intro to the video where I said something like, that's how we like them. Much bigger this one. I was sat basically here. So, can lightning strike twice in the same place? I don't know. Certainly a bit rougher down here. It feels rougher because I'm closer to the sea, I think, that's all it is. But the waves seem to break around you rather than at you, depending on the wind speed, obviously, and what have you. So, oh, I've just seen a porpoise, I think, or pilot whale I've just seen. It's crazy when you're looking out in open water and something breaks the surface. Just nearly dropped the camera there, and something breaks the surface. Yeah, anyway, just going back to what's happening now. I managed 5 mackerel in the end. I got a single on. Caught 4, got a single. I also had 15 to 20 casts. And then now it's time to go on to the bottom. We're about 3 hours before low. So let's have a go. That sounds like a rhyme, that doesn't it? 3 hours before low, let's have a go. So hopefully we get lucky today. That's what I'm hoping for. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. We'll put fresh on one, frozen on the other, and we'll take it from there. We might slice some bits up, get it put in the tide. It looks like we're going to get a decent session out here in terms of being able to fish and Don't have to worry about lob supports, don't have to worry about losing gear too much. I do feel confident, I don't know why I just do. We'll have to see. When I'm like this, usually something happens, so fingers crossed. Just landed us 26 of the year. Get her unhooked, have a picture and we'll get her put back. Well, I mean, I've just landed that in a rough sea, it's in a rock pool down there. So what I do now, I've just put my rod rest, go down and grab her. It's perfectly fine. Now there's waves still lapping up on that rock. But we'll get it sorted out, let's get sorted. Managed to get her up, no problem. Nice little Huss, probably about £8. I mean, I love them, me. Get her put back, try and get another one. It's gone a bit quiet now. I had 2 bites when I first started, one of them was the Huss that I landed. I had a Hussy bite sort of before then as well. Still won't leave me alone. Just hoping now that something else happens. I mean, the Hussy was caught on frozen mackerel as well. It's still fresh though, because it only got frozen 2 days ago. Just waiting something else to happen now. Sea's calmed down some. Hopefully something positive happens. Keeping everything crossed.
I said you were going to get what out.
This morning when I woke up.
Did you hear how much light it took?
I said this morning when I got up.
She said, Carl's probably catch the toe.
It was coming from close to it.
I did.
Oh, yeah, I got it. No.
Just stand down here.
Come on, got your hand.
Look at the small male coat.
Ready? Get calling.
Having a bit of a second wind. Try and get as close as you can, I want some really good pictures here. Snap me! Snap me!
Has it?
Yeah. On that. It's still videoing. It's come up my leader and snapped me. Dude. That's a 6-foot trace to a 14-foot leader and it's cut my line and it's snapped me. Oh well, try again. Hands are shaking. Yeah, it just picked it up and absolutely just tore off at 100 mile an hour in the tide. I've struck into it, I didn't think there was anything on, winding a load of slack because it was swimming towards me. And it's somehow obviously got some slack on me by swimming towards me at 100 mile an hour. That's one of the reasons why I don't like fishing like this with pulley rigs. Because you need to be in contact with your bait directly really for it. And people can say what they want. I've lost that fish because it had too much slack. Caused by what I think a pulley rig when you're not in direct contact with your bait. So what I'm doing now, I know the fish are here. It wasn't a particularly far cast, so I'm just going to put a really long, I'm just going to turn my pulley rig the other way up. I'm going to put my lead on, the swivel where you tie it on. I've got two O'Shaughnessy hooks. I'm going to put exactly the same bait on, which was a mackerel with the head cut in half and the tail nipped off. I'm going to put it back out there, and hopefully we'll get one. Because when you pick it up with this, you're reeling in directly to where your fish is hooked. Every time. There's no pulling, there's left to right with the lead somewhere and you fish the other way when you initially pick it up. I think letting them run, it might sound controversial and people might laugh at me, but it's absolutely criminal. It's criminal letting them run. I had no choice so far away from my rod because I've been sorting out, well, a bird nest is one of my reels basically. But yeah, let's see if we can get one out doing this. That's some slosh 30. I'm gonna have to. I've got a spare reel, luckily. Right, let's try again. Yeah, so a bit wounded about that, but that's £100 mono. Or is it £100 mono on that? Was it £100 mono? I did have one with 80 on. That might be £80 mono. That's £80 mono leader, that, yeah. It's gone straight through it. If it'd been on other rod, I'd have probably landed it. But it didn't really much. Look at the end of that. It's got wrapped round its skin or in its teeth. Skin, I'd think, and it's been spinning. It proper tore off, didn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Nick's down here, by the way. She's come down. I would have sat here. I would have sorted that bird's nest out on my other reel. And it just went off at 100 mile an hour. It went with the tide as well. But if they come down your line or whatever to pick the bait up, there's a chance they'll get wrapped up in it, isn't there? But like I say, I think it just had too much slack. I think it ran a little bit too much because I was sorting that other reel out. It took me micro seconds to get to it, if you like, but it took a lot off already. And obviously once they get slack, they've then got the opportunity to put slack in your line and they can get wrapped around it. So yeah, frustrated, but at least we know they're here and we've still got a couple of days left, so we'll see what happens, isn't it? That's all we can do. But disappointed that we didn't get it out. I thought we'd won because we'd got him down there close, fairly close in. He went for a little bit more of a last sort of run and he ended up snapping me, unfortunately. So I've got two baits out again now. We'll just have to see if we can get a repeat. Can't go anywhere without getting one of these days either. It's mullered, one of them O'Shaughnessy's. I don't think that'll be going. I don't think we're getting that back. We're getting put back. Little strap conger. Yeah, so I think that might be it on that conger. I did get the hooks out of it in the end as well, which I'm quite happy about. Come through the side of it, so I managed to. I slipped my wire and pulled it through. Gutted about losing the tope. Oops, sorry. Gutted about losing the tope. Everything happens so fast, and there's not really much you can change. You don't get a second chance once you've got one on, you know. So Nick's gone back up now. So I think we're going to get packed up, just put the last baits out. So if nothing else happens, we'll do a close down when we get up. I mean, the adrenaline pumping, you know, what goes through your body when you get one of them on, and then there's nothing. Just take a bit of getting over that. Best thing to do is to get back up, snip up any of these rigs, like that conger rig that's just been snapped. I'm going to spend about 2 hours tonight tying some more. I've got a few rigs, don't get me wrong. I've got enough, probably just. I'm going to make some more up though, just to make sure I've got enough, then hit it hard tomorrow again. Really disappointed though. Pleased that I've had a run finally, but disappointed I didn't get it out. So yeah, I'm going to get packed up, tidy any mess up that I've made down here. I've had a couple of casts with spinning rod as well, and I managed to get a couple more mackerel. They're only small, about baits, just Joey mackerel size. I've just rebaited both rods with them. I had the run on frozen, but like I say, it's not been frozen for very long. So yeah, pleased with some stuff, disappointed with others. We've had a decent session, we've had a good session really. I think I've had 8 mackerel in total, 1 bullus, 1 conger, and a lost tope. That'll play. I'm sure first one landed now. It's closer. It's getting closer. So I think I'll just do close down here. Actually, I think that'll do. So yeah, I've enjoyed it as always. If nothing else happens, that'll be it. If something else does happen, we will be back very soon. If not, catch you later. Thanks very much.